Tonight, guys, do you think?
Well, obviously the front three, very, very dangerous players. A lot of pace, a lot of skill. I think that we need to be tighter. We need to be tighter.
Well, South Africa able to call on 4 players who weren't able to fly to Denmark due to visa issues, including their 2 most influential attackers in Linda Motalo and Tembi Captain. Plenty of changes as expected. The return of Mary Earps in goal and a first England start for Jess Naz of Spurs. Stanway, Mead and Williamson, the only starters from Friday. The England captain making her 50th international. Away we go. Well, Coventry has some catching up to do after the chaos. They want to play together for England, that's for sure. Kelly, clever ball, Park. And almost playing that ball through and smart. Under pressure, early England corner. Some calls for players to start, and Naz already causing problems. There's the now Greenwood. So good on the ball. Tissier. Naz will get there first, and she was brought down there. Must be a free kick, and is in the end. Macabuela, who knows if she hadn't brought her down, might have been in trouble.
I think she would have done. See Jess Naz get.
And the wing goes in. That should be comfortable for Ed. And Letitia playing at centre back. Will England be in here? Swan out and claiming.
Really good goalkeeping there from Swart. She was alert. She was on her front foot.
With the corner, decent delivery as well. South Africa dealt with the first bit, but not this one. Leah Williamson, just what she needs. And look at the celebration from the England captain. A burst of emotion. And you can see how much this goal means to her, really, after what's been a difficult few. Player who may not have much to do tonight, but I think she might want 1 or 2 things to do, just so people remember. Well, this might be the time. Catlana, a tester, and England surely going to concede here. Somehow, it's kept out in the end. Maguire. South Africa that beat Italy at the last World Cup. One of the mean words, and it goes towards that near post. An attack by Williamson. I think that's the chance.
It definitely is a chance. It's a brilliant.
Here's Catlana for South Africa. No foul. Oh, initially. It's into Letitia. Plenty of options here for Mel Letitia. They're looking for Clinton in the middle. A combination made at Manchester United. And a second goal for England. And Grace Clinton's second goal for England. And she's a threat. Attacking that ball from deep. Brilliant defensive work not that long ago, but doing the business at the other end.
It's a brilliant.
With an effort on goal.
Ramalepe looks dangerous down this right-hand side. She's had some.
Here's Greenwood. Playing it forward, attacked by Clinton. And it's a free kick in the end, but often when we talk about effective players in football, out to Mead. And it has to be remembered the injuries to Mead and Williamson and Millie Bright, who are out for some period of time. There's another late challenge there. This time from Nicola Sassani.
Run by Catlana. She just drives. And she plays a fantastic ball across.
Williamson getting involved in the attack. Clinton. Well, absolutely full of confidence.
That shows the confidence that she's playing with right now.
The Swan is still not on time.
It just gets worse.
Still at least 5 minutes to play. South Africa wanted a free kick there. They're not going to get one, and then 2 players colliding. And here's Mead. And the referee now having to stop the play in the end, having not given a lane. Clinton. Look for Morgan. Lepe effectively. Park. Clinton. Good work from Clinton in the end under pressure. Just lost the opportunity to pass it, but then his sheer balance in riding the challenges. Mead or Greenwood? It's Mead. Comfortable for the goal. In the middle. Charge right at the end of the half for South Africa. Kamara across. An important header, I think, from Williamson. Still the danger not clear now, it is. Well, South Africa have had field, looking for Katlana again. And Earps, no nonsense. Ball might still work out. Morgan waiting for Earps. This game, the England captain scoring after a corner. And Grace Clinton with a second goal.
Way near 28th best player in the world. But we've got no qualms with Emma Hayes as a coach.
So not losing experience at all in goal, in fact gaining more. South Africa had their challenge of Matau. Keeps on going, Jess Park. We come up with something special. 1-2, flipping it back inside towards Kelly. Kelly almost forced her way through. Lepe, but Nas did well. Park, a two to pick out in the middle. And South Africa giving it to Katlana, who's quick and direct, and with a brilliant chance for South Africa. And what a finish as well. Well, South Africa's star player from the last World Cup scores South Africa's first ever goal against England. And it came from an England mistake, but Katlana still had work to do, as he certainly did the work.
There's only so many mistakes you can make unpunished. And Katlana was the one to react the quickest. Her pace was
breaking forward, support as well. Katlana. Out to Letitia, not quite. Lamini across. As does well. Got the shot away. Here's Kelly on her left foot. And not a bad strike. Rattles the woodwork. But Naz had a chance before that as well.
It's a brilliant effort from Chloe Kelly.
Causing themselves all sorts of problems. Katlana. The guy will she get there. Calm from bronze. Somewhere. Or behind Katlana in the end. Katlana in again. Now will she pass or go herself? She goes for the pass. Magaya and blocked by Bronze. Huge cheer from the England supporters. But South Africa have found Magaya. Now Katlana. Flag stays down. What a chance to equalise. She's taken it, but the flag goes up. Now this will be interesting. Katlana with a wry smile and the wagging finger. But relief for England there. That would have made the closing stages very interesting. Hemp will chase this. On the base of the midfield. Now then, it might be in here, and Bright had to make that intervention. Amalepe, what a pass through. Katlana deflected, and it won't go in. She's certainly onside there. England are stretched at the back again.
She's definitely onside, and she's feeling confident. She just
away by him. Biana. Touch invited. The pressure on. Well, despite the performance at Wembley, there was not an expectation that England would find here against Bright. And takes her on. And gets round her very easily indeed. And Earps had to make the save. Katlana's had chance after chance since she pulled one back. The lead. Thought South Africa may wilt after that, but certainly not Katlana. Can she get round Bright? Comes on to him. Gonna break to Toon. And she's denied. Well, I mean, he's not had too much to do in this second half, actually, but the South African goalkeeper keeping the score.
Hey, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of England's Lionesses.
Ooh, exciting.
It is. Remember that surprising loss to Germany?
Yeah, how could we forget?
Well, they just had a friendly against South Africa on the 29th.
Okay.
And we're going to break it all down based on this Eurosport article.
Sounds good.
We're not just looking at the score here. We really want to understand what this match tells us about the Lionesses' form, especially after that stumble against Germany.
Right, right.
Can they bounce back? I guess that's the big question.
Well, that Germany loss really did shake things up. So this friendly against South Africa, it became a pretty crucial test for them.
Absolutely, and they won.
Huh?
But it was a close one, just 2-1.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't that dominant performance that a lot of people were expecting.
Yeah, a win is a win, but like you said, it was against a team that England has historically dominated.
Yeah.
Raises some serious questions. Why was this such a nail-biter?
Right. And the Eurosport article, I mean, they kept mentioning England's sloppy defense. And they weren't just saying it once either.
Oh, really?
It was like a recurring theme throughout the whole article. We saw some defensive issues against Germany, but to see it again here makes you wonder if it's more than just an off day.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is this vulnerability seems to be persisting even though England has like a wealth of talent and experience in their back line.
Exactly.
So is this like a systemic issue? Is it the personnel? Is there a tactical hiccup? Lots to unpack there.
So many questions. And to make things even more interesting, South Africa wasn't just, rolling over. They actually scored their first ever goal against the Lionesses in this match.
Wow, that's huge for South Africa.
It is.
Really shows their growth and the development of their women's football program.
Totally agree. Now let's talk about some of the standout players.
Okay, yeah.
For England, 21-year-old Grace Clinton had a phenomenal game. She even scored a goal.
Clinton's a rising star, no doubt. This performance really just highlights her ability to shine on a big stage. Her goal wasn't just luck, Her overall play suggests she could be a key player for England's future.
And for South Africa, we can't forget about Thembi Kgatlana.
Oh, yeah.
She scored that historic goal, and she almost had another one, but it was disallowed for offside.
Kgatlana is a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely.
And, these individual stories, I think they really add a lot to the whole picture. Yeah. Shows us the amazing talent emerging on both sides.
Definitely. But it wasn't all celebrations for England. Coach Sarina Wiegman had some pretty direct feedback after the match.
What did she say?
She said, and I quote, "I think we were a little too sloppy. We had sloppy moments in the first half too, but we created from open play. They are smart and fast on the counterattack."
That's interesting. Wiegman's assessment is valuable. It gives us a glimpse into what the team's thinking is.
Yeah.
She's acknowledging the good stuff, the creativity, but she's not shying away from the problem.
Yeah.
That defensive sloppiness.
It's almost like she's saying, hey, we won, but don't think for a second we're ignoring these issues. And speaking of looking ahead, England has a massive game coming up against the USA.
Oh, yeah.
On November 30th.
Yeah, if we connect this back to the bigger picture, that upcoming match against the USA is even more significant now. The U.S. women's national team, they are a powerhouse.
Absolutely.
And if those defensive weaknesses, if they're still there, England's going to be severely tested.
It's going to be a big challenge for sure. So we've got this win that feels a little bit unsteady, a coach openly talking about problems, and a massive game on the horizon.
This is getting interesting, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This win against South Africa, it looks good on paper, but I think it's given us more questions than answers.
For sure.
That's the beauty of a deep dive like this. It's not always black and white.
Exactly. And speaking of details, there's something in this Eurosport article that I think a lot of people might have just skimmed over.
Oh, I love when you do that.
It's actually really important. Okay, I'm all ears. What detail are we talking about? Remember how Wiegman made 8 changes to the starting lineup from that Germany game?
Oh, yeah. She really mixed things up.
Only Leah Williamson, Beth Mead, and Georgia Stanway kept their spots.
Wow, that's a huge change. Even for a friendly, 8 changes is a lot.
Exactly. And it kind of makes you think, right, is Wiegman using these games to, experiment?
Oh, interesting. So it's not necessarily about sticking with a winning formula, but more about trying different combinations.
Yeah, seeing who steps up, who works well together.
Right. So maybe those defensive issues we talked about, they aren't just about individual errors.
Could be.
But they're a side effect of all these changes.
Exactly. If you're constantly swapping players in and out, it's going to impact their communication and understanding on the pitch, especially in the back line.
That's a really good point. Defense isn't just about individual skill. It's about that seamless teamwork. So maybe this sloppiness isn't really a true reflection of England's defense, but more a result of Wiegman's approach to these friendlies.
I think that's a really insightful observation. The article kind of hints at it, but it doesn't really spell it out.
Right.
And that's what makes this deep dive so great. We're going beyond just the surface level.
We're peeling back the layers.
And here's another layer for you. Jess Nas, Grace Clinton, Jess Park, and Maya Letitia all started. These are young players.
Oh, yeah, the next generation.
Exactly. Weigman is giving them crucial experience against tough competition, even if it means, a few bumps along the way.
So we're not just watching a team win or lose a friendly. We're watching a coach develop the future of the Lionesses.
Long-term thinking.
It is.
And that's really important to remember as we evaluate this performance. The results of these friendlies, they matter, but maybe not as much as the bigger picture that Weigman is building.
It's like she's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers,
Brilliant analogy. This long-term vision, it could be the key to understanding England's approach, not just in these friendlies, but in their quest to succeed at the highest level.
At the big tournaments.
Exactly.
So even though there were those defensive concerns, it's not time to hit the panic button just yet.
Yeah.
It might actually be part of a bigger plan, a calculated risk.
Right. It's not as simple as just England won, but they didn't play well. There's so much nuance.
Exactly.
So many different perspectives.
And that's why we do these deep dives, right?
Yeah.
To go beyond just like the scores and the headlines.
We're engaging with the information.
We're questioning it.
Putting it all in context.
And hopefully becoming a little bit smarter about the beautiful game.
Well said. Okay, so let's zoom in on something else that the article mentions.
Okay.
South Africa having that goal disallowed for offside. And Mary Earps, England's goalkeeper, having to make some crucial saves.
Yeah, they really put pressure on England's defense.
Right. It wasn't just England struggling, it was also South Africa stepping up.
They weren't just happy to be there, they wanted to make a statement.
Right.
And they almost pulled off a major upset.
Imagine if that disallowed goal had stood. We'd be having a very different conversation right now.
We would be.
So while we're analyzing England's performance, let's give credit where credit is due. South Africa pushed them hard.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a really competitive match.
It's a good reminder that the gap between the so-called top teams and everyone else, it's shrinking.
That's what makes it exciting.
It does.
Yeah.
On any given day, any team can beat any other team.
Exactly. And speaking of surprises, let's talk about Leah Williamson for a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She scored England's first goal.
The captain, yeah.
A real leader.
Right.
But she also made the mistake that led to South Africa's goal.
Oh, right. Yeah, the loose pass.
It's a good reminder that even the best players in the world, they're human. They have those moments.
They make mistakes.
Sometimes it's those tiny little moments that change everything.
That's why you can never take your eyes off the game.
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen next.
That's what keeps us coming back for more, that unpredictability.
A drama.
The upset.
Precision.
It's what fuels our love for the game.
Absolutely. And it's why we're here, dissecting this match, trying to understand not just what happened, but what it all means.
We're not just passively watching, we're analyzing, we're thinking critically.
We're uncovering the hidden narratives.
And that's what makes it so rewarding.
It is.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about that upcoming match against the USA, which the article mentions briefly.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
This is the kind of match that gets circled on the calendar. Fans get so hyped for these clashes.
It's going to be a real test for the Lionesses.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, what are the key things we should be looking for in this match?
Well, first and foremost, how's England's defense going to hold up against that U.S. attack?
Right.
The U.S., they're known for their firepower, their ability to just create chances out of thin air.
If England's defense is still as shaky as it was against South Africa, they could be in trouble.
Exactly. This match could either expose those weaknesses even further, or it could be an opportunity for England to show they've learned from their mistakes.
Right, right. So defense is definitely something to watch. What else?
The midfield battle, it's going to be crucial. The USA has some world-class midfielders who can really control the tempo of the game. England's midfielders will have to be at their absolute best to disrupt that rhythm and create chances for their attackers.
So if England can win that battle in the midfield, they'll have a much better chance of controlling the match.
Absolutely. And then there's the individual matchups, too.
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
have some of the best players in the world going head-to-head. It's going to be incredible to watch.
It's like a chess match, with every move being crucial.
Exactly. The outcome of those individual battles could very well decide the game.
So much to look forward to. A test of England's defense, a battle for midfield supremacy, and some world-class individual matchups.
It's going to be a clash of styles, a clash of personalities.
And who knows, maybe we'll even see some surprises along the way.
That's the beauty of football. It's always full of surprises.
It is. And we'll be here to break it all down.
Analyze every tactic.
And celebrate every brilliant moment.
Because that's what we do. We deep dive, we explore, and we share our passion for the game with all of you.
Love it. Now, let's circle back to the Eurosport article for a second. There was a quote from Grace Clinton that really stood out to me.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued. What did she say? She said, obviously everyone wants to play for England, for their country, but my personal goal is to keep scoring.
I mean, she's ambitious, but also, like, focused on the team.
It really does. You know, goals change everything in football.
They really do.
They shift the momentum, they create those heroes and villains, and her wanting to keep scoring, it shows that she understands that.
It's like that hunger that all the great goal scorers have.
Mm-hmm.
They're never satisfied. They always want more.
Yeah, and that drive, that's often what separates the good from the truly great, you know?
It's true. And it's not just about the goals either. It's about that pride of representing your country.
Yeah, there's something special about putting on that national team jersey.
It's an honor. It's a privilege.
You're playing for something bigger than yourself.
Absolutely. And you can tell these players, they really get that.
They do.
Okay, before we wrap up, there's one more thing I wanted to touch on from the article.
Okay, yeah, what is it?
The article mentions that South Africa had to switch their goalkeeper at halftime.
Oh, yeah.
Kaylin Swart. She seemed to be playing really well, but she hurt her back and was replaced by Andile Dlamini.
Yeah, she had been solid up at that point.
Right. We don't know how serious the injury was, but it makes you wonder if that substitution changed things for South Africa.
It's possible that, you know, coming on cold like that, Dlamini wasn't quite as ready.
Yeah.
And maybe that contributed to England sort of taking control in the second half.
It's amazing how even those small changes, they can have such a big impact on the game.
It's like the butterfly effect.
One little flap of the wings and everything changes.
Exactly.
So maybe if that substitution hadn't happened, South Africa could have held on for a draw.
Who knows?
It's just so fascinating to think about.
It is. Those tiny moments of brilliance, of bad luck. It's what makes football so unpredictable.
Absolutely. So, okay, let's bring it all together.
Yeah.
England won, but there were some questions, especially on defense.
Yeah, that sloppy defense, as the Eurosport article called it.
Wigman even admitted they struggled, but like we discussed, it's not that simple.
We have to consider all those lineup changes.
The young players getting experience.
By how well South Africa played.
Yeah, so what does this match tell us? Where do the Lionesses stand right now?
You know, I think it tells us that England is a team in transition. They're trying to find the right balance. Experience and youth, attack and defense. It's a process, and there are going to be growing pains.
It's not always going to be pretty.
But there's something really exciting about this team.
There is.
They have the talent, the coaching is world-class, and they're hungry for success.
They are. It's like watching a caterpillar transform into a butterfly.
I love that analogy.
It's messy, it's awkward, but the end result is going to be beautiful.
So true.
So yeah, this match against South Africa, it wasn't perfect, but it was revealing.
It gave us a lot to think about.
And that's what makes these deep dives so interesting.
We're left with more questions than answers.
And that's a good thing.
It is. Here's a final thought for everyone listening.
Okay.
Think about that upcoming game against the USA. What do you think happens if England plays the same way they did against South Africa?
Ooh, good question.
Something to ponder.
It is. It is. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep your mind sharp and your passion for the game alive.